Last, but most certainly not least, is Brandon Simmons, Paul Springfield from.
Thank you. All right. Thank y'all for making it to the very end. To get started, we have some t-shirts we want to give away because y'all are the ones who held out throughout the whole thing. So Paul's going to help me here. Chandra, can you be my eyes too? Raise your hand. First one who raises it gets the t-shirt and answers the question. What's the name of this presentation? Yeah, Scooter.
Alternative to face-to-face learning.
We'll give it to you. Just in time. This thing's not working, so we won't use it. Yeah, so we are just in time for face-to-face alternatives to teaching. Minimize this. So we are part of the Big Yo Center. The Big Yo Center on campus supports teaching, technology, and testing. We are faculty support. Who here teaches? Who here supports teachers? IT people. Who here doesn't do any of that? Hopefully you'll get some. If you don't do any of that, I'll tell you something. If you hit B on the PowerPoint, it blacks it out. And if you hit W, it whites it out. So maybe that'd be a little something you get out of this. So I'm Brandon Simmons. I'm the Canvas administrator on campus. We also support Panopto and Zoom. This is Paul Springfield, my colleague. We have our information here. So if you ever need help, if you are a faculty or you support faculty, give us a call. We work very closely together, but not this close. This, I don't know what Seth was doing with this Photoshop, but. Yeah. All right, so Big Yo Tech, that's a unit within the Big Yo Center. We're the other IT, as Chandra said. We're the instructional technology folks here. Part of our mission is to engage faculty, so we do that through collaboration. We'll go to faculty retreats to talk to people, and we just want to collaborate with faculty on whatever they need. We support that through help pages, workshops, and one-on-one help. So if they have a question, they can call us, they can come by, they can stop by email. They know how to get in touch with us. So if you're IT folks, you probably know how to get in touch with us too. And we try to empower these faculty members, make teaching worthwhile at Auburn. So one of our jobs is to evaluate and investigate new instructional technology. What's good out there, like H5P as Chandra showed, or those other kind of technologies, Mentimeter, those things. So we really look for what's good out there and does it have a sound pedagogical base? And so this workshop is on just-in-time teaching. Do y'all remember what happened mid-January of this year? We all took a break. Yeah, we had one day off and then half a day. I didn't come in because the ISIS were still bad. So what happens during that time? Because students don't want to come and make that up, right? How can we keep going? So we have some technologies to show you that focuses on just-in-time teaching. So if it's the weather, maybe you have to go for a conference and you know you're going to be gone next week. How can you keep that momentum going, or a personal emergency? So just-in-time teaching is uninterrupted learning. The students don't take a break. They're still in it. They're still focused and engaged in what they're trying to do. If you're interested in more, we have the aub link, aub/JIT. That's JIT, not JIT, because that's too close to something else. So go there, and we have all the information we'll be talking about today. So last thing I want to talk about is Canvas. Canvas is Auburn's learning management system. So everything we do, we try to funnel through Canvas because all students use it. We did a survey backed up by data we got through Canvas, and 25,000, I think, around access Canvas at least 20 times a month. That means almost 100% of students get into Canvas, and they get into it multiple times a day. So they want to use Canvas. Most of the instructional technologies we have on campus is integrated in Canvas. The ones we taught today are, more or less, and we try to funnel everything in Canvas because students want that. They want everything into Canvas. Some juicy quotes I have from the survey we did is, please God, make Canvas use mandatory. Some other quotes I have is, I have one teacher that does not use Canvas and it is extremely inconvenient. They expect it. I think all professors should be required to use Canvas and know how to correctly post grades. Students want to know what their grades are above anything else. And my favorite quote it contains my entire life. So they know where to go, they know how to get to it, and they want everything through Canvas. So Paul's going to talk a little bit about some of the technologies available through Canvas.
Yeah, so we're going to talk today. We've got two technologies we're going to cover. This first is for asynchronous use. It's Panopto. It's a video tool within Canvas. You can use it outside of Canvas as well. So you could use it for training materials or that sort of thing. But we want to encourage faculty to use this in Canvas. You can use it for lecture capture. So if you're going to be out, you've got that snow day, there's a possibility of recording a lecture and sending it out to students. You can also use it for student recording. So this can be something where if your students are turning in an assignment, you want to have them record themselves and upload it. Panopto is the tool for doing that. And it's also more than just video. So one of the things we heard this morning from Phil from GSU was the importance of digital literacy. Our students are going out into a world where they're expected to be able to figure out and use technology. 40% of our students are walking around on a mobile device, the majority iPhones and then some Android devices. By having your students record themselves and use that material within Panopto, you're giving them experience in creating content, which is going to be important for them in the workforce. And Panopto supports more than video. It's great for students to be able to watch content. They can click a button and jump back 10 seconds if they couldn't understand what you're saying. It supports closed captioning. So you're able to put those in for your ESL and hard of hearing students, but also for your distance student who's got a crying baby and wants to be able to hear what you're saying. They want to be able to watch that lecture. This can help them. You can even build in reflective tools like quizzes so your students can self-reflect.
And if you're not an instructor, these are really good for facilities. They can record videos on training. Anybody have a P card? You probably went through the training for that. Maybe not the best example, but that was using Panopto.
One of the reasons we're going to ask so many of you who work with faculty to encourage your faculty to use Panopto is this puts everything in Canvas for the student, and it puts everything in their course. So you have that faculty who says, oh, I don't want to put a video out there because it's going to be on YouTube and anybody could take that video and take my content. This puts it in their course so that that content is all in one place. It's not floating out where somebody else can get to it unless they want it to be. So if we want to work with our folks in real time, what if it's a snow day and you got to call up your boss and have a quick meeting and then go make that snowman? Or you want to work with students immediately, you want to have some virtual office hours or let them work with each other. A great tool for doing that is Zoom within Canvas or Zoom on its own. We recommend Zoom for online conferencing. You can use it for running your office hours. It's completely device agnostic. It doesn't matter if the person using it is on PC, Mac, Android. It doesn't even matter if they don't have a device. It supports them calling in on a telephone and putting in that meeting ID. So it's a really powerful way of connecting with people. And of course, we're using it here today in our Tech Talks. Yep. I want to stop my share. I do want to show you a few of the features of Zoom just real quick while we're in here. One of the nice things. So what we're doing here is we're sharing our screen. This is letting us share out our PowerPoint presentation. We can also manage our participants. So everyone who's come into this session was preset to be muted, but generally you would have these folks unmuted. But let's say somebody walks away while they're in the conference, they're on a phone call, you hear their talk in the background. It's just a click of a button to come in here and mute them or unmute them. So it's very simple to manage participants.
Yeah, and one other thing, if you learn nothing, if you're a participant, please always mute your mic.
Pretty please. We can also break our participants out into breakout rooms. We're not going to do that here today because that'll mute these folks. They won't be in the same room with us anymore, but we're able to split people out. So if we want to do group projects or that kind of thing in Zoom, and as we said, everyone at Auburn has Zoom. If you are an Auburn employee, student, faculty, you have a Zoom account. We'd even recommend if you've got a vendor who sends you something awful like an Adobe Connect session or something, send them back a Zoom link and say, here, click this. They don't have to have an account. They just put in a name and click a link. And you can still let them share their screen with you. So it's a great way of avoiding some of the less desirable technologies.
Yeah. If I get a vendor request and it's not Zoom, I'm like, no thanks. We're good.
So that's our way of dealing with synchronous technology, synchronous connecting to people.
So we're going to wrap things up. Let me bring this back up. So in conclusion, anything we do with technology, especially substituting face-to-face technology, do it with a purpose. We never do technology for technology's sake. So consider the pedagogical advantages with the technology. Close this out. With the substitution, like I'm doing this because why? What's the benefit for my students for this? Prepare alternatives. You know, we're in a technology conference talking about technology, and we're showing everything through PowerPoint because we had to prepare in case Panopto doesn't load, Zoom doesn't load, just because it always happens when you're trying to show someone that. And then iterate each year, meaning don't let content stagnant. If you record that video because of the weather day, revisit it in a year or two. I had one faculty member ask, you know, I recorded this video 3 years ago and I want to change the timestamp on it, just so it looks like it's more current. Maybe just re-record it. You know, the content may have changed, you may could do it better. So just iterate and keep coming back with fresh eyes. And finally, hopefully, ask for help. I say give it 10 minutes. After 10 minutes with the technology or anything, if you get stuck and you just don't know how to do it, call us. We can help. We also have a just-in-time help online at aub.ie/bibliotech, help guides, videos, all that kind of thing. So if we're not there, if it's 3 a.m. and that's when you really get all your work done, then check out our help files. So that's our presentation. We do have a few more shirts to give away. Ma'am, do you have a question?
If we're recording a presentation, why the book? How big a file will it?
Through Zoom or Panopto?
Through Zoom.
Through Zoom? That's a tough one. It depends on how long it is.
30 minutes, like.
Are you Auburn?
Yeah.
You can record to the cloud, so size isn't that big of an issue. And then you can put that in Panopto if you want long-term storage. Because another benefit of Panopto too, we didn't mention, is it tracks stats. So you can see who watched it, how long, those kind of things. Yeah. So we'll have times for a few questions from you all, but we have some questions for you. So Scooter got the first one. Get ready. What's our phone number? Zach.
844-5181.
You cheated. Yeah. Zach used to work for us, so. No. Yeah, Zach used to work for us, so it's like insider trading. Now these, yeah, give Scooter one too.
All right.
Okay, and these T-shirts, if they don't fit or you want a different one, come by our office. Are y'all ready? How can students record videos as an assignment? Is anybody else? Panopto, yes. Yes, good job. Y'all may be able to mix and match sizes afterwards. Okay. If you're away, how can you hold office hours? Zoom, yes. Final one. How do you plan on using just-in-time teaching? This is a tricky one. Yes, ma'am. No, I want your answer. So you have to have an idea of how you want to plan to use just-in-time teaching. Okay, and you're in facilities? Yes, ma'am. All right, well, I'll take it. That's us. Please give us a call if we can do anything. Any questions? Great. We made it in time, so thank you. Yes?
Just a comment, Zoom is fantastic to get outside the firewall and help people while they're at home, even with offering computers.
Yeah, Zoom is great.
So,
I like to tell this story. We had a gentleman Zoom in for us for a meeting to demo a product. He never used Zoom at all before. He connected and he's like, I want to share my screen. How do I do it? Oh, I click here, boom, shared it. So if you've never used Zoom before, it really works well. It's kind of sad. Paul and I sit right next to each other. Like I said, we work closely together. And he'll open up and zoom his screen so we can see the same screen, and just so we can work together on things. Any other questions? We have buttons. So if you like a button, a little consolation prize, everybody can have a button. But let us know how we can help.
I have a question about Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give an example of how you would manage breakout rooms?
Sure.
Or what are they, like, really?
When you would use it?
They were mainly used for like big classrooms for group work. So if you had 20 students with 5 groups, you can say, okay, let's break out now. They all go into their own little mini Zoom that only they have access to. And you as the instructor or host can bounce back and forth between all the rooms. So you can't hear, if Paul's in a breakout room and I'm in another room, we can't hear each other. So it lets them talk privately. They can work together, and then you can pull them all back. And in fact, you as the host can press a button and it warns everybody, hey, everybody's coming back in 10 seconds. And then you can share what y'all talked about individually in the breakouts.
Somebody a host of the room.
You're still the host, you're just putting people in a room.
Well,
Yeah.
like I'm master host.
Right.
Do I sign them to be in charge of their breakout room?
There's no in charge. They're just in the Zoom they're in the breakout rooms as participants, like anything else.
Yeah.
At the same time as yours is. So if you had a topic, like if I'm in a webinar and they have a topic and they say, okay, now go in your groups and talk about it and we'll come back with consensus, then you just go in that room while the webinar is happening and you're just talking about that topic.
Mhm. So we could, let's say this was all Zoomed. We can say, okay, if you're interested in Canvas, join this breakout room. If you're interested in Panopto, join this breakout room. If you're interested in Zoom, join this one. Talk about it. Think of one way you're going to use that product, and then we come back and share. Anything else?
Strictly speaking from a student perspective, how do we force all of our people to actually use Canvas? Because half of my professors do not.
Right.
And it's really, really frustrating. And they say, well, I can't do weighted grades. A can.
Yeah.
But I can't get my information in A can. But here, I'll show you. Just do it.
As IT folk, both information and instructional, that's our kind of our commitment, trying to keep showing faculty how to use it. We're doing workshops this fall, and we're reframing them instead of learn to use the gradebook to what your students expect, what your students want.
Do you want me to paper classrooms with your pamphlets about the training so that
Yeah.
the
The more
teachers
students
can
that
see?
ask, the more.
I mean, because
Point
I'm
them
serious.
out.
I sit in classrooms and I'm like, you guys are doing this wrong.
In all seriousness, point them our way. If you know faculty or departments who are looking for help, who haven't heard of us, we're happy to go to them to help them. That's something we can offer, bringing some of those training and workshops to people who might not be able to make it at that time.
I need to start doing that. Like, I need your card to hand out and be like, no, seriously, to go see these guys.
You missed ITC last month, but I'll share the recording. We talked a lot about the survey. We put a survey in Canvas about student results. Now, granted, the survey was in Canvas, so if students don't use Canvas, they wouldn't take it. So it's a little bit biased.
At this point, every student should use Canvas for at least one class.
The data we pull directly from Canvas reflects that. At least 25,000 students use it multiple times.
Like some students want it.
Yeah.
So if they were to reach out to their classes, like, hey, if you guys want to use Canvas, you probably get 9 out of 10. Say
And the other one would be like, not necessarily Canvas, but anything else that does the same thing.
Well, I assume the other one's probably not even going to class anyway.
One of the big complaints we got from students, and if anybody does this, I apologize, don't use personal web pages when you teach. That was a big pet peeve because they want everything within Canvas because that's where they know to go. So we're here, IT folks point them our way. Students are starting to pressure faculty. We had one faculty member come in and say, students are telling me I need to use Canvas, so I guess I'm here to learn it. So, that's kind of thing. So, that.
Sort of following that, we've been having an issue lately with a lot of people insisting on using Skype, not Skype for business, just personal Skype instead of Zoom. Despite all, you guys know me, like I'm always trying to explain how great Zoom is and try to help people, but what do you think, what's your go-to to tell people stop using Skype and use Zoom? What are good, elevator pitches are good, quick, this is why Zoom is way better than Skype and why you should switch.
Is it a comfort thing for them? Is it something they've always used?
I'm sure it is. And sometimes they'll argue that the people they're Skyping with, the end user, is a Skype user.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be familiar with Zoom, which I know you've covered, and I know how easy it is to download the client. But
Yeah, Paul and I were talking a little bit about this. One of the benefits of Zoom over Skype is you don't have to have an account. So if you want to bring a visiting scholar or some kind of subject matter expert, they don't have to create a Skype account. They can just join the meeting.
Zoom is its own backup too. When you have a Zoom invitation, you've got 3 ways for them to join it. You've got opportunities for them to connect regardless of whether the device is working. So one thing the faculty might consider is, have they ever had somebody that had to troubleshoot with Skype? Have they had to spend 20 minutes getting them to sign in, remember their Microsoft account and install it? The whole meeting could have been done by then.
The other thing is that for students in university license, not so for the student that compares to credential, they just get in.
Mhm.
We use that too. It's just, I think it's getting over the hump of comfort. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
You're used to it, but it's hard to sway.
We have a rule in my house for my daughter for food. Take a no thank you bite. So they have to try it at least once and see if they like it.
Okay.
And maybe not. But I think once people use Zoom and see how easy it is or how more intuitive it is, then they may switch.
You can let them know that that's one of the clinicians that will figure it out, so.
So shame them.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be suggesting if it really wasn't that much easier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel so much.
Zach has single-handedly removed quite a few people in foreign language, even with the language barrier sometimes, to Zoom from Skype.
Oh, good.
Screaming in some cases. But they like it.
Yeah.
They like it now.
When it goes out.
That's the thing that I was trying to bring up too, is that everyone I've been converted from Skype to Zoom, we rarely have people come back saying they've had issues with Zoom. It's almost you never hear from them. We always say no news is good news, so it means they like Zoom. And
One thing I like about Zoom too is you can use it on anything. The example I always get when we're doing search committee, we did interviews for our assistant director for Big Yo, and she did her interview via Zoom on her phone in, I think it was like the Chicago airport. And if she can get the job after doing that through Zoom, it's not a bad tool.
that's cool.
I think we're out of time. Anything
We're
else?
out of time, but man, thanks so much, Paul.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'll wrap up and say that we appreciate all of you participating and engaging. Hope you got something out of it. Feedback, there is a link in the bottom of this notebook. Please provide feedback. What you liked, everything. What you didn't like, nothing. No, just kidding. Truly, we want to do this again, and the more feedback we get, the more we know what to include, not include. So awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Meeting.
Oh,